to take a significant death in and get out as well.
And we start off with World 1 and World 1 again. But as you notice, the numbers are different. We start with 1-6 early on. And, oh yes, this is a fun place to be. Isn't this one of the World 3 levels? As we do see DLP taking out death.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the best with this, but it's either 3-8 or 3-9. 3-8's the number. That's my gut. I'm sure someone will correct me otherwise. But
actually, I think it's 3-9, yeah.
Yeah, like, you see, this is what I get. This is why I shouldn't actually... It's funny, I've written the randomizer, but I still don't have the knowledge of the game so well.
Well, don't worry, I'm going to be testing your knowledge about some of the aspects about this game as we move along throughout this evening. Like, some of your mentality with regards to some of these changes that you see, why we have certain enemies in certain places, why we're seeing players jump over the H or onto the...
Yeah, it's fun moving all the power-ups around. Oh, and we get Boss Bass here.
7-2 with the Boss Bass.
This is an ugly stage to get Boss Bass in, too, because of the fact that you have to, usually unless you've got a P-Wing or something entering the stage, you pretty much have to create this the music block bridge to get through. Although maybe they'll be able to get around that because maybe Boss Bass will reappear down here underground. Yes, he did, so... Paranoia will probably be safe here for the rest of the stage now, because Boss Bass, unless he despawns, will be staying down there the whole time.
Looks like that's what DLP was maybe plotting out to do at this point as he... Well, nope. Unfortunately, he didn't get lucky. There's the Boss Bass that pops up right there.
They both did get good shape, though, the fact that they were able to get the Fire Flower come into the stage big and then had the Fire Flower, so now they were just able to quickly go through the rest of the stage here without too much of a problem.
So this flag set that we're seeing here often has the tendency of being faster than the first set that we saw.
Yeah, well, with the locks being moved around, if you think about the original game places the locks in a lot of places in a way that is meant to... Basically, the locks are essentially kind of like a checkpoint. If you game over, then, at least usually you have a way to get back to the second half, the second half of the stage. World 1, you have that lock positioned right where it is. If you break the lock, then, you don't have to beat the first... a couple stages up to the fort again. You can actually get through it quicker. Whereas here, the lock placement isn't necessarily cutting the stages off, so therefore there can be shorter paths to the end. Now, in the logic, I actually do have it in there that the locks will lengthen the stage somehow a little bit, but especially when the players have the hammers in place to be able to break some of the locks, then they can get some very significant time savings.
Speaking of logic, you also have it coded to these levels, like the 6-5 that we just saw these runners in, or that DLP is finishing off now, they have to have Koopas.
Correct, and that's it. It often is a case-by-case situation. 6-5, just because almost any enemy can spawn at the very top there, that you can potentially, you might need the Koopa shell in order to actually kill the enemy, just like you would in the vanilla game. So we left that one alone. Yes, I see it.
1F at 1F. What's going on here? Oh, hammer that it's Paranoia is not going to get. Well, he took a death. Maybe he might get it now. But that's a nice find.
Oh, those finds are absolutely great with the hammer, because again, the locks will significantly shorten things here. Paranoia won't be getting that because it looks like it's 2 stars here in the fortress, but should be hopefully in good shape going forward.
What's like about this stage of DLP is that it's one of the lost levels. How did you find these levels?
Well, people had actually discovered them, I think, a while back. If you were to use one of the level editors that's available for SMB3, there are 15 stages, quote unquote, that were technically there. Like, there was full level data for. The thing is, a few of those levels, quote unquote, were completely unfinished ones that had absolutely nothing that you could really do in them. Or there was one that was actually a dungeon which literally you went into a pipe, hit a big question mark block to get, I think, like a Tanuki suit, and then when you went out the pipe, the stage ended. So it was really not exactly a fun one.
And some of those levels you had ended up having to fix in order to make them playable.
Right, there were a couple of them where there were just little tweaks that needed to be made. I still think there's one level that I might that's supposed to be in there that I haven't actually seen in a while. So I'm wondering if it's I've got to actually check into that myself. But there was one of them where the floor was incorrectly positioned on the level at the very end, and so you would get to the end here, just like you're seeing Paranoia at that part. And since the black curtain gets drawn last, it drew over the part of the floor you would stand on, and you would just be running, fall to your death. And the only way you could get there was a P-wing.
You see the End Spade game coming up here for its Paranoia. The prizes have been shuffled. We'll see what he pulls up. Oh, it looks like a nice little star there for matching 2. As DLP finishes off with World 2. What world do you think we're going into, Fred?
Well, I'm hoping to see something world like, let's say World 6. I want to see World 6 on the earlier side, because maybe with the locks it won't be as big of a deal.
No. World 4. Which, because we don't have a hammer, well, it's Paranoia, or rather DLP does have a hammer, but
I like this play right here. I really like this play that DLP is doing. He's saw the fort at the very beginning, and he's going straight for the fort to try to take the lockout, hoping that since he does need to get rid of the bridge in this world. This is one of the worlds that has a bridge just naturally laying there that has to be found in order to complete the level. And so he's hoping that this will be the fort that unlocks the bridge, allowing him to hopefully clear this quickly.
We got a World 4 fort in World 4, and that's the bridge.
I should really standardize these card games so every player gets the same card game. Okay, I'm going to write that one down as a potential feature going forward.
Well, look at this. We are actually going to have some new items or new ideas here for Fred being spawned. So it's Paranoia is taking the pipe, and he's going to find out the hard way. Oh, this was a nice and breezy, quick World 4 too. Look at that.
Yeah. Like I said, this is one of the things that you see. You know, this World 4... normally, if you're playing the game, you still, even if you get the right pipe and you've got the hammer to start it, you still have to beat a fort and then there are 2 forts and 2 other levels. Here, you're just able to beat 1 fort and now you're done. So that's where we're actually able to get some of those major time savings.
Ooh, it's Paranoia is going to go with the wrong 4. He gets 5F2, but it's not going to create the bridge. The bridge he's looking for is on the other side of that first pipe.
It's going to cost him a couple of minutes here, but I mean, on the plus side, once he sees that, he'll know that he can go right back to the other side and be able to get the fort. So it shouldn't cost him too much time here.
How much do hammer suits cost?
Yeah, I tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. My distributor doesn't want me telling anyone the official costs unless you're really willing to do the business.
World 2 is our third world that we come across at this point. DLP is still holding on to his hammer suit. We'll probably use it up at some point as we get 6F3.
That is one of the forts I absolutely hate. I still can never really get a good feel for that one.
And it's a forced fort too.
Yeah, they haven't found any clouds yet or anything. I guess maybe if they got really lucky on the end game, maybe you could get lucky and get a cloud. But for the most part, yeah, completely forced here.
Well, it's Paranoia is going to be heading on through this World 4 fortress here. We'll get the bridge to show up in just a moment. Making sure that his invincibility star doesn't run out on top of a fire, a walking fire thing. Yeah, as DLP finishes off of the 4, we're going to see what's at the desert next.
Paranoia's play was on fire there. Yes, it starts.
I wouldn't have it any other way from you, Fred.
Love this stage. I still have to actually do a little bit more work here trying to get Lakitu to be able to randomize. The reason I haven't really randomized Lakitu up to this point is just simply the fact that, for example, if he ends up in desert, the pyramid, you know, the normal pyramid stage, he oftentimes will spend part of the stage underground, and when he throws one of his spinies, they shoot straight up to the surface, and it's kind of not exactly fair just having an enemy spawn directly under your feet. So that's part of the reason they're not really randomized.
DLP trying to do the clip here, and that's 5. Can't get that just yet. trying to get the clip, but still no.
I still don't have a visual for this.
I don't. I just jump and pray.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Woo! At some point, I actually should sit down and try to actually learn what that clip is, or maybe consider ways to try to force players to play the level. But
I think if you told Mitch Flower Power how much it costs for a hammer suit, maybe he might help you.
That's true. Yeah, you can thank Mitch actually for the random color option there, which causes Mario to change color every time that he changes his suit. Mitch had actually, I was just talking to him back when he was running a small tourney to try to get people to start playing, start doing speed running, start doing playing. He had made his own hack and had wanted to, I'd asked some questions about some of the things related to it. And one of the things that he was just say, hey, what about the colors? And I ended up doing some looking through and discovering, writing some code to basically change your palette every single time that you took a hit, change state. So Mitch is the blame for all that.
Hand stage is paying off hammer suits again.
That's a pretty sweet find. I mean, it guarantees now that you don't have to go hunting for anything to try to get through at the end to try to kill Bowser. You might even have 2 or 3 hammer suits just in case of a poor untimely death.
Well, you see, it's Paranoia trying to play the game again, and there are clouds in these in spade games. I think the flowers turning into the clouds.
Yeah, that's a really good one to find. I mean, obviously, clouds and hammers are the 2 major ones you want to find, but finding those clouds could be just very important, just in terms of trying to get through these stages as quickly as you can. And again, on regular overworlds, I feel like you don't use the clouds necessarily as much. People are always just saving them. They're kind of like the mega elixirs that you get in Final Fantasy games, where you're like, okay, I'm going to save this to the very end because I don't want to die. And then you get to the final world, and all of a sudden you've got like 4 clouds, and there's 2 stages at most that you can cloud over.
What's World 4 going to be, Fred?
World 4? Let's see here. I want to see World 7. I want a maze.
Well, we still got 3. We still got 7. It's Paranoia without a power-up there. Oh, this is a nasty setup right there. That's horrible. Let's see. He's going to go ahead, use a power-up, and try to go ahead and clip now.
I give him credit. I would have just flat out used that cloud there.
Hammer turns out to be the prize from the princess for this stage, and World 5 is our next stop. Here.
So I think what we're going to see with the way I was seeing the world layout there is that they're going to have to do this fort. And even though there's a lock right next to the fort, that's not going to unlock the fort. That's actually going to unlock the bridge to cross over, and then they'll have to take a pipe to get up to the sky via a pipe.
Paranoia is still having some issues with the block jump here, or the clip here, what they call mac and cheese.
I still love the origin of that. Just simply, oh yeah, we need a name for this for hitting it first try. Let's just call it mac and cheese. And apparently they all said okay, all the speedrunners. So that is why the best of my understanding, that's where the nomenclature came from in the first place.
Air Force is our fortress here.
And this is one of those stages as Paranoia finally nails that clip. Awesome. And still probably went through that stage faster than you would have if you hadn't been going that way.
Considering the first 2 enemies of that stage, I think you are 100% correct.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say my previous tourney race, I had we had to go through 7-1 because it was one of the very first stages, and there were some fire nippers in that stage. So yeah, anytime I see nippers in one of those stages, it's evil.
How rude. And as you are correct, there it is. There is the bridge over to the other side. Here's one of our lost levels.
Yeah, this one feels like, I'm not sure exactly what stage it was. Obviously, it's going to be one of the sky stages, but we were able to find it in there. Just the stage simply floating up and down, a few enemies sprinkled in there. Not an exciting stage, but still was complete enough that I said, you know, it's worth putting it into the randomizer here. As I said, I wanted to make sure people had interesting stages before they started playing these. Speaking of interesting stages.
Well, we're hoping its Paranoia gets back up soon, as we'll switch over to DLP's audio as it continues through this World 4.
I like this play here, going through trying to make sure you just take out all the Hammer Brothers, because you never know when you're going to get a Hammer or a Cloud, and or a P-Wing in this case. You know, something really nice here.
We should be seeing Paranoia coming back. There we go.
There he is. And not too far behind. Only going to be a couple of stages behind here now that we're going through and finding out about the wand being in the other frog suit.
But as we've known from the past, you can be a little behind at one point, but catch up. This is exactly what happened in their first race. Who knows? It's not over until the dot done happens at the end of World 8.
Oh, agreed. You know, one bad death on a stage can easily swing things a minute or two. Sometimes even taking the right pipe versus the left pipe in, you know, one of the World 7, World 8, it can easily come down to that. I mean, we saw that in one of the previous races there, where it literally came down to if the correct pipe to the end of the game had switched from the left pipe to the right pipe in World 8, it could have very easily been either a tie or swung the game the other way there at the very end of the last match. So there's a lot of exciting stuff potentially coming up here.
And trust, and be honest, you love these close finishes.
Oh, absolutely. You know, anytime I can get to see any race that comes down to the wire, especially on a game like this, it's great. Now, I still have to figure out a couple of ways to take that final dungeon and make it a little bit more, you know, Bowser's Castle, make it a little bit more random. It's kind of tough because there aren't that many enemies in that stage. It's a lot more about execution and movement.
Just make all the fireballs paratroopers.
I could possibly move them around. I was contemplating like changing where they spawn in the rooms, just to at least give you a little bit of unpredictability when you're doing your jumping. But putting a couple enemies over there, that might actually also be a nice way to do it. Thank you, Rick. And I'm sure everyone else out there will be cursing your name in a few weeks if I release that.
Well, the good news is you won't be releasing until after the tournament.
Shh. No one knows anything about that.
DLPs is done with World 4. We still got the long worlds of 3, 6, and 7 still to go.
I say 3. I say let's just go 3 now.
I will not stop giving Fred ideas. This is what makes Fred kind of work the way he works.
I see. I changed my opinion. I kept saying I should make it. You know, I wanted World 7. Wanted World 7. Now I say I want World 3, and it's 7. See, I'm jinxing it. Oh wow, pipe
Look at all
city.
those pipes. And they're pipes to nowhere. There we go.
And this right here is the reason I did the, you know, I made the shuffling around of all these things, of all these stages, because I love the fact of, okay, now I have to actually try to change my pathing. You know, deal with the boss Bass there that was trying to ambush, and just rearrange my pathing here. Now this is going to be a very fast level because once again, DLP has a hammer, so can just take out the lock here instead of having to hunt through the world trying to find where the hammer ended up, you know, where the appropriate fortress ended up being. So that's where they're saving a bunch of time on some of these levels.
But are they saving money?
No, I don't know if any of them called Geico to try to switch their car insurance.
Speed Gaming is not brought to you by Geico Insurance, although we may be able to do that if you really say a good word or two. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Earthquake.
Get the words out there, folks. We're more than glad. Speed Gaming's glad too. Heck, even I'll personally be willing to make a small cut or something. I'm willing to be a sellout.
Anyways, an earthquake boss with only 2 HP. Come on.
Trust me, I keep saying I should actually up it more than 5 hit points because think about it, imagine that.
But I don't want Wendy with 7 HP.
But what if she's not throwing around any rings anymore? What if she's just shooting normal bullets and Lemmy is throwing around rings, or Iggy with his high jumps are throwing around the rings instead?
I think that text was a little too long.
Shh.
We get one of the 2 forced auto-scrollers, and DLP wants none of it.
Unfortunately, DLP still has the cloud, and as soon as he goes into the pipe, he saves it so that way he doesn't have to go through there. But
pipe.
So I mean, that was like a really steep waterway. It's essentially like going through the Hudson, right?
That's true. Hey. And there goes another one of those hammers at this point. Hope you bring your hammers to these worlds here. 7's airship is blocked by a hammer. 3's airship is blocked by a hammer. You might be onto something here, Fred. Use up their hammers before they get to World 8.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems to work. It's definitely something that they do strategically to try to get through. And as I said, there's a reason that I said that all the stuff in World 8 needed to, on the final screen, would be lava bridges instead of the lovely...
Oh, DLP takes a death to Wendy. Wendy, by the way, 5 HP.
I approve. I completely approve of that. But you're the one watching. You're not even being affected by it.
I'll be affected the next time I play this.
Yeah, and then maybe it'll actually be 2 hit points.
Knowing my luck, no.
We could negotiate.
I do like the P-Wing strats, though. Trying to hold on to it, but unfortunately gets cornered. 4 hits there. This should be the 5th. There it is.
And there we go. Well played on that level. Earthquake
DLP?
Wendy with the wings. That might be a decent... with the rings. That might not be a bad idea. Maybe if I give her some super jumping.
DLP is a world ahead right now of it's Paranoia, who's trying to make his way through the World 7 maze at this point. So, alright. I think we got World 6 next.
Yep, process elimination. We have the typically very long World 6 here coming up to for them to race through.
And we get ourselves a lost level. Now, this lost level is so bland, so 3 question blocks, all you do is swim up. When are you going to throw in the cheap sheeps on the top to disrupt your swimming?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm sure I could find a level or 2 that has a little bit of extra space for me to be able to grab some enemies and just throw a couple in there for a surprise little visit.
Speaking of surprise visits. Whoa! We knew that was coming, and that still surprised me. Ooh, 5 died, the other auto-scroller.
Oh, I love legitimate theater.
No, I'm not going to stop giving Fred ideas, guys.
It's so much fun, though, guys.
This is no different than being in Fred's chat when he does one of his Coding with Fred segments, and you say, wouldn't this be a nice idea? And then he writes it down on a piece of paper, and then you know immediately you're screwed.
What, like, someone saying, hey, what if the book in Zelda 1, allowed you to translate the old man's text, and all of a sudden, a little while later, we got that.
Well, we're going to get ourselves a Hammer Bro coming up right here, and DLP goes ahead and puts on his fire suit at this point.
Actually, a Hammer Bro. Kind of cool. It's rare to actually see them. I feel like a lot more often you get the other ones, which is always a lot of fun in my opinion. I love seeing the fact that you have to face some of these guys in some unique scenarios. Aside from Fire Brothers, they just stink.
We need a bridge. It's Paranoia needs a death. When is SMB1 and SMB3 combo, Fred says Great White Hope.
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to considering that at some point. I mean, I don't know anything about SMB1's stages, but I'm sure the level data could be pulled.
Well, here's another ultimate question for you. When is the SMB 1, 2, and 3 Randomizer?
Well, I feel like, well, maybe with Lost Levels might not be so bad, because the problem is 2 is just such a different game completely, you know, considering the fact that was originally supposed to be the Doki Doki Panic there. So, I feel like you could probably get away with one Lost Levels 3 if I went through. I'm sure they have a lot of similar bits and pieces in their level format. I'd have to look into it. Maybe that's the combo randomizer. Wouldn't that just be Mario Maker, essentially? At that point?
Well, maybe, but at least then you wouldn't have unicorns and chiming music and whatever the case is that coming through some of those levels for trolls.
But the fun music is fun.
DLP coming up empty in the end spade game. We'll continue to figure out. Now, I'm surprised he hasn't tackled that 4 right there to see if that creates the bridge. Now he gets in there. We get ourselves 3F2.
You see, this is right here is part of the reason that this level set is a ton of fun, because you actually have to think about what you're going to be doing. You have to think about what, you know, forts you want to try to take on. You know, do I try to get to the end? Do I take the bridge in this case to try to save a couple of levels? Things like that. Those like minor decisions are just absolutely awesome as a developer type person. You know, seeing people work on those. Uh-oh.
Ooh, we get the flying boom boom. Don't get to see him a whole lot, and gotta wait for him to come down. Oh, takes the death.
That was painful. I gotta change his timing. I gotta find out more about his AI and timing. That way I can...
Oh, come on. Fred's coming up with so many ideas because he's done commentary this evening.
I mean, I've been wanting to change up Boom Boom a little bit anyway. I know there was a... When I first started doing the Fireball, you know, changing the hit points on the Koopa Kids, it was a little bit harder to do because of the fact that the Fireball death, if they were like a 5 hit point kid and they were at like hit 4 and you fireballed them to death, the wand would not drop. They would just die like a regular enemy, and then kaboom. We had to write a little bit change. I had to find another couple of numbers in memory and change them around to actually match the number of hit points that the Koopa Kids had when they got higher. So same idea with Boom Boom, I think. I just haven't actually gone and looked through it yet to try to find where that's going to be.
I think DLP may have finally gotten the bridge that he needs. There we go. He makes his way over toward 6-1, and hello! What a great level to find.
Oh, I love this this 5-6. I want to say 5-7. I know where it is on the map. Get back there!
Oh no, he's not gonna get it.
I wasn't sure. Maybe I was praying like maybe it'll just happen to go that way. But I love that stage from, you know, the gameplay perspective here without the auto scroll on there, because it's completely possible to do small. Any time I ever added anything, I made sure that any of these stages were possible small. It was actually one of the things I had to test for when I was adding the capability to make levels frog friendly, because I had to move some of the stuff around. For example, in 7-7, the one where you basically are playing the racing game as the star, that you normally can't beat the frog. So I had to, I basically then had to add in the ability there to, hold on a second, I just completely lost my train of thought because I just was reading something in text that someone was suggesting. I need to stop rambling.
Well, you're talking about being able to beat small levels.
Oh yeah, so basically that 7-7, the one where you normally race, you have to be invincible, run across all the nippers, and hit the next star. And I definitely played through that stage a lot, trying to get the question mark blocks for the stars in just the right spots that it was possible, and then deciding, wait, is this really technically possible? Because I can do it, and admittedly, if I can do it, then almost anyone out there probably can do can beat that stage. But I said I want to actually make it possible to do it, semi-viably. So I ended up making a couple extra changes to make it a little bit more friendly for the players. But things like that, I always try to make sure that there's at least a decent balance. Sometimes it's easy to balance. Some of these things can be a little bit tricky to find the right balance on to really get things to be fair.
And this is why this is an educational second race here between its Paranoia and DLP, because we're learning so much about what you've had to go through in order to build this thing. As DLP finishes off with World 7, we're off to World 8, and the name of the game is How Do You Get to Bowser Town?
And as I said, this is where we have those extra, replaced all the bridge, the locks that would have appeared on the final screen with fire pits. It's technically possible that you won't need to do that. There could be nothing on that screen, but anything that does appear on that screen, we will have to find a appropriate fort to kill in order to try to get through it. Speaking of potential forts to kill, double death, but unfortunately Ty goes to the Hammer Brother.
We get 6F2 here for DLP, and he ends up loading up a P-Wing, which turned out to be a great decision to do so. Takes the hit, but at least he was on solid ground where he took the hit.
Yeah, flying on that stage scares me, because with the rotodiscs there possibly now having different patterns than what you're used to, I always get completely terrified of that. I'm going to just walk by something and then kaboom.
And off to the Navy as our fortress.
Can you sail
here.
the 7 seas?
Not really, because this doesn't really look like it's sailing anything of sort.
Does it put your mind at ease?
Definitely not. This Boom Boom puts me at ease, but that level, no.
Does he make you want to say something? Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say.
Whale. Oh, you Fred. Hey!
Oh. Nice play by DLP there, clearing out those 2 forts. We don't know which one it took to actually hit that, but it doesn't matter because DLP is now here at the end. Nice. I definitely need to change this up a little bit.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. Maybe make it so that 1-up actually comes out with a power-up, making it harder to clip.
Or not remove the block.
Ooh, that would be very, very vicious of you, Fred.
Well, I could put it down a block lower, so that way if someone was small and wanted to come in, they could still at least hit it.
Well, DLP is making its way through here and should be pretty fine and about ready to do a hammer kill of Bowser. Here we go. Say hello to Bowser. Say goodbye to Bowser. DLP wins. Get your GGs in the chat.
Great race there for DLP, coming in with the official SRL time of 33 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yeah, this Paranoia is not that far behind. All he has to do is figure out which one of those 2 he needs to create the bridge, and he will be maybe a couple of 3 minutes behind DLP. Congratulations to DLP. What a fantastic run.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, 33 minutes is insane for a game like this. I sit here, I definitely don't have the ability to do anything close to that, but seeing players come in and toast these games, I know there are some people out there who keep saying, "Oh, we really wanted to try to see that sub 30 by someone," and I'm just on floor like, okay, how do you do that? I'm lucky to get a sub 50, let alone a 33-minute finish on this. So it's incredible the skill that the players have here.
Have some quick levels mixed together with one long, and I think the only really big world that you had to go through was World 6. I mean, World 4 was an instant.
Well, 4 was instant. 7 and 3, thanks to hammers, ended up being pretty close to instant. I mean, 5 was a little bit. You had to still at least traverse a bit on the bottom of it, but it still wasn't that long. But you're right, 6 was really the only long one here. Most of the short worlds that existed, they just went through anyway. And Paranoia doing the exact same play here of going through and taking out the 2 forts, and will definitely be rewarded when it gets to the final stage, and all of a sudden there's the bridge right to Bowser's domain.
I'm sorry, but that's still not the 7 Seas. That's not water. That's orange stuff. It doesn't look like Gatorade either.
Is it Sunny D? This is not purple stuff, so I figure it might be Sunny D.
It might be Sunny D.
I don't know. I feel like if I drink it, though, it'd be a little bit too much burning down the throat. Almost be like a shot of whiskey, from what I hear.
As long as it's not just whiskey in the jarro.
That doesn't sound good.
Well, Paranoia's about to burn down the house with his hammer suit.
Did he remember to stop?
Or not.
Because I thought it was hammer time, but clearly it's not.
That joke would have worked a lot better if he was able to keep the hammer suit for longer, but unfortunately he decided Fred's gonna make a hammer joke. No. Takes the death by the bow. I think he does have another hammer suit in his arsenal, so that's why he's gonna take this death.
Yeah, that one definitely felt like that was an intentional death at that point, just to try to get through here without, keep the hammer suit. Allow me to make the joke once again.
Stop.
Nice shooting, though.
Yeah. You're supposed to say hammer time.
I was giving you the choice for once. I can't take all the jokes here. Well, I can, but...
You can, but you put some of them in the game.
Well, of course I do. Hey, I take jokes from wherever I can find them. Heck, I could take a few of them off my 9-year-old, actually.
Any place anyone wants to submit a joke?
I had that at some point. I'll have to go find the link for that, for the forum. But definitely there's a forum. It can always be submitted in the Discord, too, for the game. Certainly go to the suggestions channel. Heck, I could probably make a quote suggestion channel here at some point, too, for anyone who would like to put those types of quotes in as well.
Shout out to Great White Hope, who came up with the too legit to quit comment.
I hope putting some great commentary in with you earlier. Going to be on again in a little bit here for more of the action coming up tonight, so definitely stay tuned to listen to some of that awesome commentary. I'm just happy I got to call another race with Rick. I don't get to do that often enough.
Yeah, no. We should do this a little more often. There it is. Paranoia is...
He has correctly remembered to stop at the door, waiting for everything to finish out here, because it is hammer time and time to go visit the princess. Finishing with the official SRL time of 38 minutes and 18 seconds. Those GGs coming out in chat for Paranoia there after a fantastic race. Just unfortunately got paired against DLP, who just got a couple of quick turns there to get just a little bit further ahead, but 38 minutes is still an incredibly awesome time for this.
So it turns out both of these runners ended up splitting their matches.
That's the nice thing about playing the two different phases here. You have that chance, even though you just getting one bad race isn't necessarily costing you in this format, in this round robin, not round robin style, but the group play here, where you're playing 2 matches against everyone. One bad match isn't necessarily going to cost you early on here. You still have a chance to recover.
So taking a look at the Group F stage after these 2 races have been complete, iBubba7 continues to lead this stage undefeated at 6-0. One Fine Day is 4-4. Midi Guy DP 2-3. DLP going 1-1 today goes to 2-2, and Soundly Paranoid is now 1-6 here in this Group F stage.
Got a lot of exciting action going on here. There's a lot of really strong groups here. Amazingly, again, looking through this, I see a couple of groups here where we've got 2 4-0 players in the group, a couple of groups with like 3-1, a couple of 3-1s, or 2 5-1 players. So it's actually some incredibly close matches coming up here, incredibly close matches we're going to see over the next couple of weeks here as these players try to race through, try to finish up the group stage, get themselves in that strong position, so that way they can move on into the next, into the bracket phase.
And Paranoia has updated me in chat. It's 1-7 is currently their record, but congratulations on your 1 win earlier. That was a great win, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I got to witness that one. I had it on in the background when I was doing some stuff around the house, and it was absolutely a blast to get to see that race. That was a really good race run.
So I don't think we're going to get either of the runners in here for an interview, so we'll go ahead and get ready to wrap things up. Be sure to come back here in about 50 minutes from now. Looks like... yeah, about 55 minutes from now, we're going to have Gameaholic versus Big Zeef. As that match continues here. Other things we got going on the Speed Gaming Networks, we've got the weekly Zelda 1 Metroid 1 combo race going on right now. That's over on Speed Gaming. Coming up at 1 a.m., we've got Jay Cobra versus Putz. That's on Zelda 1 Randomizer's All Boards, No Swords tournament on Speed Gaming 3. More Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer coming up tomorrow morning if you wake up early enough. We got Gamer Cal going up against Paratroopa. Doubleheader tomorrow, 7 a.m. and then at 8:30 a.m.
That should be a really exciting one. Again, all the matches you've just listed there are looking like they have potential of being really good. I know Cal has been doing a lot of practicing, and that matchup there is going to be a phenomenal one there. So if you happen to be awake in just about 8 hours, definitely check that one out, because that match is going to be a lot of fun. Paratroopa is another strong one there, so it should be a really fun match to check out. And I'm going to definitely be keeping an eye on it as it goes.
I think Gamer Cal mentioned that he'd like to go 1-1 against Paratroopa, because they both still got to deal with Mitch Flower Power in that group.
Oh gosh, that's right. They're in that group there. Yeah. So yes, they're 4-0 and 3-1 in that group right now. So both of them are jockeying to try to get up there, hopefully get a good position. And then, Mitch, we all know Mitch's strengths at SMB3. So I don't know, again, I haven't necessarily seen if Mitch has had a ton of time to practice with the world shuffling that we've had here. I know he has proven himself to be incredibly strong at this variation when he's working with it in the other stuff, in the first set of flags. So it should be a great matchup here, hopefully, and hopefully we'll see some fun there, and they'll hopefully jockey themselves into a good position going towards that matchup against Mitch.
All right, stay tuned. We got more Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer coming up as we move along. We're going to have DLP come in here for the interview. So, hey, DLP.
Hey, how's it going?
Great effort through that run there. Tell me your thoughts as you moved throughout that second seed.
Second seed, that was really nice to get a short one. My first 2 yesterday were both really long. First one today started out with some pretty tough stages. Nice to get one really fast. That's actually, now given I've only done probably 45 of these, that's my fastest time by like 1 minute and 30 seconds. So
how about that World 4?
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Hey, here's the 4 that creates your bridge and come across the other side to get to your airship.
Yeah, that was great. 3, there was no searching around in there. 8 was really nice. It was all really good. But pretty much since the start of this race, even after, I've been thinking about the first one. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. That's I really needed that one. Man, there was just something that I could have done to just pull that one out.
You fell behind a little bit, and you nearly made the comeback. In fact, if you held on to the hammer suit in that World 8 Bowser's Castle, could have been a lot closer than the several seconds it was between you and Paranoia. But
yeah.
what a fantastic run that first one was between you two.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to pull something out the next 2 matches to try to get into the brackets. But I'm happy with this second race. It's nice to get everything that just kind of fell together for me.
So, at what point in either of these flags that you were playing were you cursing my co-commentator's name?
Well, let's see. The first seed, pretty much all the way until the 4th world when they started giving away hammers. The first stage was pretty rough, and then 7-5 with Boss Bass.
Oh, but that's so much fun. I mean, I even left a Koopa or 2 around in that stage on purpose. There's actually, I think there is a Koopa, I guarantee, just in case there's some bad spawns of, like, meant for more for the piranha plants down in the bottom, like some of the spike shooters or nippers. But, they can kill Boss Bass, right?
You did leave me 1 or 2, which I was very thankful for. Yeah, I never curse Fred's name. I love it. I love it all. It's a good challenge.
Anything you want to say to Fred while he's in here with me?
Nope. Good seed. Awesome randomizer. Thanks for creating it. And yeah, it's awesome. It's a game that I grew up loving, and it's just nice that every time I play it, it's like a new experience now, which is awesome, man. It's really cool.
Thank you. As I said, definitely appreciate it. Just trying to get things out there, try and make it fun for everyone. Keep trying to come up with these random twists, see what we can do about trying to, push things out here, get things to go a little bit better. It's been fun watching everyone play this. It still floors me to see, a 60-person tournament, pretty much come up, and when I don't even think I envisioned anywhere near that many people playing back when I first threw the first versions of this together. So it's definitely fun to get to watch this, get to see some great matches, and as I was saying, 33 minutes is an insanely good time for this flag set. So it was great to watch it. Great job, and best of luck to you on the rest of them.
Thanks, appreciate it, and thanks Rick and for commentating and everybody that's involved, restreaming and all that. I really appreciate it.
And when you watch this run back, just don't yell at Fred too much, because we kind of gave him like about 5 new ideas during this entire run.
I may have to watch this back a little bit more and get rewrite more of those ideas down as I was keeping track of things. So this will be some good. There'll hopefully be some good ideas, and we'll just see if we can get what we can get in there.
Can't wait.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, more Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer coming up in about 50 minutes from now here on Speed Gaming 2.
Thanks, guys.
All right, be sure to follow both of these runners. It's Paranoia as well as DLP316. Fred, anything else you want to add before we get on out of here?
I think we're good. Just make sure everyone out there give follows out to these runners, give follows out to the crew. Thank you again to the whole Speed Gaming community here. Thank you to the full team behind the scenes who's have done the amazing job of putting on such a great show here. Runs just completely seamlessly for all of us. And again, definitely give co-commentator Rick a follow here, because he is one of the best in the business when it comes to commentary. Pretty much you can hand him almost any random game, I feel like, and he will come in and nail it really well. So it's great to get to work with Rick. So definitely give him some love. And as I said, it's just great watching this, and hopefully we'll see a lot more good action here coming up soon.
Appreciate that, and thank you very much for joining me, Fred. It's been a blast here having some back and forth with you during the course of this run. Be sure to follow this guy too, because once he gets that sub 30 in Zelda 1, Fred might be kicking some butt and some coding with Fred, trying to add some new features to both Zelda 1 Randomizer and Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer. So you want to watch those coding with Fred streams. They might get interesting, especially with some of these ideas if he decides to implement them.
Yeah, there's a good chance that some of this stuff will happen soon, so we'll see how things are going. As I said, that sub 30 is definitely something I want to hit, so that might be something I'm going to be working on here in the near future, but there'll definitely be some coding and some other fun stuff coming up soon, so definitely, hopefully, you guys will see more fun stuff coming up.
And plus, you got to practice for some of your upcoming tournament races, too, so we got that coming along.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see me playing some... I'm not just the guy behind the scenes coding this. I've agreed for some reason that I can't quite figure out to actually play in this tournament. So there'll be some matches of mine coming up, too.
I can figure... I know why. You like to be tortured.
I don't think I like the torture, but it just happens anyway. I just end up in these situations. I can't control it.
If you didn't like it, why would you sign up for more? Anyways, we got to get on out of here. Special thanks to all the ones behind the scenes. Special thanks to the runners. Also give Sharky as well as Sabatender a follow from our first race that we had. Thanks for joining us. Have yourselves a great night.
Take care.